Hey, everybody, it's Tanya Smith here with Stream Like a Boss TV and GetNoticedWithVideo.com. I am super excited and thrilled that I get a chance to be here with you once again. Of course, we are here each and every week on Thursday to deliver to you another live stream show where we're talking about how to embrace your face so that you can do more live video. That live streaming video really, y'all, can help you to serve more people, stand out online, and sell more of your services, especially for those of you who are service businesses. And that's typically who is in our audience. So I want to definitely say hello, and I want to hear from you. If you're watching and you're brand new to the show, I want you to go ahead and type in hashtag newbie. Let me see if I can pop up our newbie versus OG thing. There we go. Hashtag newbie if you're brand new to the show, and hashtag OG if you've been here before and you've been watching us regularly and consistently, because we just love to have our OGs and our newbies in the house. What's up? What's up? I see Dan Roth is in the house. Hey. And then I see JP High Tech Reviews as well saying, let's go. So super excited.
Stream like a boss.
That's what we're going to do. We're going to talk about how to stream like a boss. So on the other side of this short video that I'm about to share, I have a very special guest that's going to be with us tonight, and I am super excited to showcase her tonight with you. Marie Zimenoff in the house. What's up, lady? And hey, John Lacey. John Lacey was my guest on last week. He said, hi, Tanya, and hi, Dr. Pam. Hashtag OG. Okay. All right. I'm going to read a little bit about the bio this time, and then when we come back on the other side of this video, I'm going to ask Dr. Pam to tell us a little bit about what's not in the bio. So let me share with you a little bit about her background so that you know what to expect. Check this out, y'all. And it's very long, so I'm not going to read the whole thing, but she has a list of kudos and celebrations. Dr. Pam Perry is an award-winning communications and PR professional working with established experts and experienced entrepreneurs, helping them to share their brand stories so they can attract clients. Look, she's been called by Publishers Weekly a PR guru and featured in so many major publications. When I say so many, yes, on more than 500 radio and TV programs. What? She also has a 25-year career expertise in marketing, public relations, and journalism. She is the publisher of Speakers Magazine, the podcast host of Get Out There and Get Known. She's been my guest before, y'all, but I love that I get to catch up with people like Dr. Pam. Look, there's one final thing I have to share this with you before we roll on over to the video clip. After working with Dr. Pam, her clients have been featured on, check this out, CNN, CNBC, Fox Soul, Impact Network, Oprah Magazine, y'all. What? Hold up. I love it. Yes, magic. It's just like magic. Essence, Ebony, Black Enterprise, PBS, and many other major media outlets. So I know that's a lot, but I had to share that because she is amazing and you're going to love meeting her. Everybody's saying hello and happy Thursday. So I've got to pop you up on screen, Dr. Pam, so that you can see these comments. So let's go ahead and grab yourself a pen and a notepad and whatever your favorite drink of the evening, or maybe it's morning, because I know, John, you're in Australia. So wherever you are in the world, grab something and then come on back in the next few seconds so that you can take notes, because I know we're going to be dropping some knowledge, especially Dr. Pam. All right, I'll see you on the other side of this video. All right.
Thank you.
I just love having you here, Dr. Pam. Look, I could play the claps all night because I'm just like a fangirl. Just know this.
Oh,
I am. I always
Tanya,
have been.
we have known each other probably online at least a decade. because you've been out here doing the darn thing for real, for real. So you were going to ask me what was not in the bio.
What is
And,
not in the bio? We need to hear. But before we do
and
that,
mhm.
I got to pull up some hellos because a lot of people are saying hi. A lot of people
Hey,
know you and love you already. Look, let me just pull up the comment scroll because look at all this.
okay, yes. Oh, I love this. Look at this ECam working like that. Oh
Look at
my
this. So,
God. Okay. I
Valerie,
love it. I love it.
Michelle, Marie, always loving it up, leveling it up. I know.
Living it. Mm-hmm.
Yes, I actually just finished my coffee, but it's Friday here in Australia. That's exciting.
I
Awesome.
want to get to Australia soon.
I do too. I would love to visit Australia. So,
Hey,
John,
Valerie. So people are coming from YouTube, Facebook, and LinkedIn.
LinkedIn.
John,
That's
one of my
right.
favorite places. I love LinkedIn.
So
Facebook
now I
has
got
so
to
much foolishness.
get you to answer this question about what's not in the bio. What's happening that's not in the
Yeah,
bio? Because there's a lot in there.
right. Well, it was something that you said that she has a 25-year career. Well, my business is roughly almost 23 years old, but what's not in the bio is my daughter, who is 26, going on 27, works in advertising and in PR. She works in advertising PR. So she works in an agency and she's like a project manager and she went to Michigan State. She thinks she grow, right? And so I just remember looking at her picture right over there and I was like, I remember her just being a kid. And I was like, I couldn't even get her to keep her room clean. I said, now she's a project manager at an international advertising firm.
Wow.
And so me and my husband were like, one day we're going to give this company to you and, you're going to run it. And and something about these millennials are like,
I don't want to
no,
do what you do.
I
Hmm.
don't want to do. And I remember starting this company 20 something years ago. She was a baby in tow and she would come to work with me. And, it's like, oh my God. And I thought when I started that it would be something that she would take over one day. So, my friends just says, oh, give her some time or whatever. She's just been working in the work world a couple of years. But I was like, I remember thinking that by the time I had her, I was like older, it's about 35, 40. I was thinking like, I don't want her to ever have to work and struggle like I did. And I want to build something that I can give to her. And so for her to say, I'm like, really? I'm gonna find someone else to sell this company to or whatever. And but anyway, but I started it because I was working as a PR director for the Salvation Army. I liked the job, but the job didn't give me freedom. Freedom of time and freedom of the creativity of things I wanted to do. So that's why I started my company. And so basically I was working around the clock with her in tow.
Hmm.
Couldn't have done it working in the office 9 to 5. And so that's really why I started. And so she doesn't have children yet. She's not married. So maybe she doesn't understand that dynamic of that yet. And then
Yep.
also too, we have COVID. So she works from home. So that's a whole game changer in itself. But the whole point of it is when I started the company, it was with her in mind. And so
Yeah.
for any mom out here who has a business or whatever, and you have children, you're thinking that your children should follow in your footsteps. I need some advice. How do you make it so that they want to do this for you, right? Because you don't want to do it till you die, and then it's like it's just over. You want to build it up.
Yep.
And the only in the African American community, it seems like the only legacy businesses that I have seen generations, at least three, are funeral homes.
Yeah.
But any other and basically part of it is because we haven't been entrepreneurs that long as a community, as the African
Hmm.
American community. But even if you look at Robert Johnson, right, he sold BET, or you look at different, businesses that are very successful, very rarely do you see them being passed down. They're actually sold.
Yeah.
So I'm looking for the models of people who have businesses and they're first generation entrepreneurs and they want to leave it to their children because it's better. You want them to go further faster than you did. So anyway, so I'm looking for advice. So that's not in the bio of why I started my business. She's my why. People say, oh, you want to think about your why. And then it's like, okay, my why grows up. And then it's like, thank you, but no thank you.
Right. No, it's funny that you're saying this because for the longest, I was telling my kids, both my girls, I have two daughters, and I was
Mhm.
saying to them, I really want to pass on all this stuff that I'm learning. I want
Yes.
you to know how to, and they both were like, Psh, I never do that. Like, I don't want to do, but check this
Yes.
out. UTD, University of Texas, I know. And look, JP says, your why resonates so deeply with him. Check
Yeah.
this out. My daughter, my eldest, who's at University of Texas, Dallas, she is the social media. Look, she runs social media for their sports department.
See, there you
And
go.
she's been growing
She's
their
in it.
Instagram. But she was like, oh, I don't really want to do that. I just do it because it's fun. I'm like, yeah, but all the stuff that you're learning and you know how to do, like you're a spokesperson on videos. I mean, come on.
Wow. Yes, exactly. That's it. I mean, I guess it's at a certain point in time, my mom was really a housewife, right? So I couldn't really emulate like what she was doing because I was doing something different. So
Yeah.
it's but the kids are kind of doing what we're doing, but they really are like so rebellious. Like, I'm not going to be like you. I'm like, really? But you're doing that. You work her first job, she worked as a digital marketer, then she worked at an ad agency as an account executive. Now she's a project manager. And I'm
Yeah.
like, these are all the skills that you saw you are my her dad and me
Yeah.
do. But
Yeah.
it's like, don't want to use them in the business. So anyway, it's that kind of thing. Like, okay.
And I
Oh
look,
my.
I see John's note. I think we've got to all got to follow our own paths. And I do agree with that. I
Yeah,
definitely agree with that.
yeah.
And
But it
and look,
make
our
the path
kids will.
easier for them. We want to
Yeah.
make it easier for them. That's all. I mean, listen, if my parents, this is just me, if my parents owned a company when I was coming up, I would know when I finished college, I would go in as a vice president. Okay. That would have been like me. It's like, okay, they
Trust.
own a company and I'm coming in as a VP, and everybody in the whole company would have been hating me, but I would have came in. But you just,
It's just different now, though. It really is.
yeah.
And I know neither one of my daughters will fall into the same space, which is fine. So now, like you, my goal is to look at who is it that's coming up that wants a mentor that I could
Mhm.
potentially pass some of this knowledge on to. So
That's
I've had my eyes on a few people. They
yes,
know who
yes.
they are, but
Mhm.
it won't be my daughters, and I'm okay. I want them to follow their path for sure. But
And
I
we don't
get
know.
what you're saying.
They may be, a lot of my friends, they just later. So in the
Yeah.
Black community, the Black newspapers. So traditionally, the Black newspapers started by one generation, and then they would have another generation that would take over or either buy it. So in Washington, D.C., I believe it's called the Washington Informer, and
Okay.
Denise Rowland Barnes. I can't think of her name, Denise. So when her father started the paper in the 60s because of civil rights unrest, whatever, she was like, yeah, 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 this is good. And she went away to Howard, she majored in communications, and she's like, but I don't really want to work in my dad's newspaper, right? The Washington Informer is really big. It's like really big.
Mm-hmm.
And she went to Howard, then she went to law school, I think. And then eventually she just said, well, let me just work in there for a little bit. So eventually she worked in there, father passed, and now she takes over. And the newspaper's doing well. She's taking it to the next level. Her son also works in it as well, and he's taking it to the next level. But that's three generations, right? Her father, herself, and now
Mm-hmm.
her son. And that's kind of good for the Black press because you needed to have that legacy from that. But for most Black press, people who are the publishers, they want their children in it and their children run from it. And so then we don't
Mm.
have a legacy in the Black media that you want. Kathy Hughes, Radio One, she has her son working in that company. So that's good and it grows and they so you that's it's why they started it. They really started it because they want to make a difference in the community and they want their children and their family to be a part of that. So
Well,
it
we got to
is
talk about, I need to tie in what you're talking about because your background is so robust and so rich in PR. And that's why the perspective that you offer is going to be different than maybe perspective from some others that have been on the
yeah.
show or that could be on the show. But first, before I say that, you saw that David Kennedy said, you're known as the dancing PR lady from the D.
Yes, Motown is my thing. Diana Ross is my idol. She went to my high school. Okay. And I also love some Mary J and Beyonce. So yeah, that's it. So I will pull out all the 90s and just break it all down, right? Salt and pepper,
Look,
all of that.
you were one, and I got to talk to you about that, about video clips and what makes you get, excited to do the videos that you do, and entertaining the way that you do, and telling stories too, just through movement and through some of the clips that I've seen for your videos. First of all, what got you interested in the space of PR, though, Dr. Pam? And then I want to pivot over into how video has helped you over the years with your career in media.
Well, PR is a form of marketing and journalism. So I've always been interested in telling stories, always been a really good writer, creative writer. So that was like just a natural. So when they get to the point of like, what do you want to do? What do you want to do? In my high school, you had to pick a career. So, you had to pick a curriculum. It was like, oh my God, I don't know. So I picked like business administration that was general and broad, but then all of my extracurricular were in like the school newspaper, the yearbook, photography, anything that had to do with communications, right? This is way back then. Then went away to school. What's going to be your major? Journalism. In PR was the minor, right? So that was always, and then out of school, where you going to work? Detroit Free Press. That was our major daily. Stayed there for 10 years. And then it was like, oh, what are you going to do next? I'm going to do PR. Worked in Salvation Army. So I always liked telling stories, being around communications. The video part, because I've been doing it so long, I haven't really had like different careers. They've all been really all aligned. The reason why I stay in the field is always changing, and I need to change with it. So the dancing videos, it entertains me. I am not the best dancer. I am not trying to be like the best. My sister-in-law owns a dance school, and she won't even dance on video, right? But she looks at me and she go like, oh my God, really? It's like, don't tell people you know me, okay? It's like, really, I mean, her dance school is like 20 years old. She will not do a video, but I don't care because it keeps me entertained and enamored with the field, right? So
Yeah.
when PR was really making the shift and the change, and a lot of my PR colleagues were like, I don't know about that social media. I was like all on MySpace, Facebook, whatever. I was Tumblr, Twitter, and they were like, what does that have to do with PR? I was like, it has everything to do with PR because it's communicating, it's reaching the masses, it's touching people, it's communicating, it's social networking. But then it became social media marketing. I said, but it's part of really connecting, public relations, relationships. So that's what we do. And so at 63 years old, a lot of my PR people are like, can you show me how to work, I don't know, LinkedIn and Facebook? I'm like, no, because 10 years ago you laughed at me. So
That's
no.
right.
Like, no, I know how to work if I need to Ecamm or StreamYard or whatever, because I'm not afraid of it. But I had to do it because it was always changing. I call it PR 2.0, but really it's PR 3.0 now. I mean, you can really go and do NFTs and this whole thing of doing a press conference in
Yep.
the virtual reality. It's it's
Mm-hmm.
it's changing. AI. I mean, it's like it's fun. It makes it like it's a new career.
Yes,
It makes it
it's
like it's a
true.
new career. So that's why I'm in it for so long. I'm not doing it the same way I did it when I first started. Lord knows, faxing. What if I'm sitting up here trying to do some faxes,
I
right?
know.
So you so you have to change it. So that's why the videos, that's why the TikToks and the reels and all that kind of stuff. And music just excites me anyway. We were doing something yesterday, get on the Bigfoot, right, by James Brown. And at the very beginning of that song, I've heard that song a million times, but James Brown goes, K pasa people, K pasa people. And we were like, what is he saying? K pasa people, K
What's
pasa
happening?
people. What's
Uh-huh.
happening? We didn't know what James was saying. We had to Google it. That was, back then they didn't have Google.
They didn't have, so you were just like, we're just gonna say what we
What
think
did he
he's saying.
say? Yeah, que pasa. He was saying que pasa. I was like, oh, he was saying what's happening in Spanish. It's like,
That is so
okay,
fun.
James wasn't just making up some words, right? Oh my God. So yeah, so that just keeps it exciting. I'll do and I told my daughter, my birthday's coming up. I said, I want to do one of the trends, and you show me how to do the whatever, the new TikTok trend, the dance trend. She was like, mm-mm. She said, "We did Savage. It took like too long." She
Oh
says,
my
"We're
God.
not doing it." I was like, "Okay." She said, "And you still didn't do it right." I was like, "I don't care. I want to learn it.
I'm just having fun anyway. And you know
I'm just
what?
having fun. I'm
That
just
is
having
one
fun."
thing that I have always noticed about you. You have all the things that you just said, you've never been afraid to try
Mm-mm,
new things. You've never been
mm-mm.
afraid to just test it out and see if it could be fun and see if it could be
Yeah.
exciting. There's a couple of comments in here I want to share with you. First of all, aging with grace and style with Valerie Hatcher, 63. You look
Yes. Yeah.
fabulous.
Thank you. Thank you. That's what, when I turned 50, that's what I said I was going to be from now on. Fabulous. Fabulous and 50. So now it's like fabulous. I'm 60. So what is 60? Oh, sexy at 60. That's what we're going to
Oh,
be.
okay. Okay. Okay,
I don't know
then.
what 70 gonna be yet, but it's like fabulous through the 50s, sexy in the 60s. We got to work on some stuff, right? So you got to name each decade. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do. Thank you, Valerie.
I
But
love it.
yeah,
I love it. Oh, Yvette said she's an OG, so great day and evening.
yes,
Yes.
yes. Been
James
doing this
Brown,
for a
David
minute.
Kennedy said, "What's happening?"
Que pasa, people? Que pasa? Oh my God! If
What
you
do you
want
think
to
is
get
the
somebody to
biggest?
dance, just put on some James Brown. That's all you gotta do. That's all
Well,
you gotta
look,
do.
I've seen you dance to all kinds of stuff.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. That's true.
Whether
The
it's
couple
James Brown
challenge.
or it's something new school, I've seen you. She said, "Oh, sultry at 70."
Oh,
So
I
there you
like
go.
that. Sultry is 70. Okay. All right. I'm gonna look that up, Yvette, see what that's all about.
I love it. I have seen you do so many different things. How do you choose when you're going to attach yourself to a new video trend? Like you were asking your daughter, so hey, let's learn a new trend for my birthday. What
Mhm.
makes the decision for you that you're going to engage, whether it's um, dancing or if it's Chat GPT or something else?
Or
What?
Clubhouse. Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Um,
Clubhouse too.
Clubhouse, I mean, you wanna you see, this is the difference between me and a lot of my friends in my age. I want to be uh always on the cutting edge. And so I want to test it out before I explain it to a client that they should use it.
Mm-hmm.
Excuse me. Excuse me. So when Clubhouse came out, I was like, oh, I have to cough. Hold
Oh no, that's okay.
on.
Let me give you a second to go ahead and get that cough on out. Here. And while you're doing that, I'm going to take a quick commercial break and
Okay.
remind the folks. How about that? That'll give you a little bit of time. We'll come right back.
Okay, there
Um,
we go.
oh, Sensual in the 70s came up.
Ooh,
Okay, I'm
that's
bringing you
loud.
back. Let me bring you
Okay.
back. But first, let me put this out there. For those of you who are not on the mailing list, you need to get on the mailing list. Just go to getnoticedwithvideo.com/guide so you can stay
Mhm.
up to date when we have new events and programs coming out. As a matter of fact, I have a new one coming up that's going to be published. We're going to be talking about it starting tomorrow, which will be Friday the 28th. I'm really excited. It's called Live Stream to Leads. Are we ready for you to come on back, ma'am?
Yes, yes,
All
I'm
right.
good. I'm good.
I gotcha.
Yeah.
Yes.
So one of the main things of knowing when to get on something or when to leave. Remember Vine? Okay,
Yes.
mine was there and then it was gone. So you have to try it because things will always be changing and they may leave. I mean, obviously, MySpace is gone. I'm not still on MySpace, but you want to look at what is working for your clients. So I knew Clubhouse would work because my clients are speakers. And so I
Mm-hmm.
said, you need to get on Clubhouse. Da, da, but before I tell them how to use it, I have to do it. So Nicole Roberts Jones, one of my clients, she was all of my clients are adamant about everything when I tell them that they should do, right? They just like, oh God, I don't want to do another thing. So when she finally went on there and she got a regular rhythm with it, Clubhouse now you can record it, you can make it a podcast. So now she's doing the Clubhouse live and then she takes it as a podcast and she adds to it. So they can work it their way. When obviously when TikTok became like the whole trend, any client that um how do I say that has a showmanship about themselves, they should get on the TikTok. And I said, this is where you should be. And when I say showmanship, like meaning not afraid to uh, do silly things, or Dr. Geneva is a really good example. Dr. Geneva is 73. This is my client. She is 73, and she's on TikTok and raking up like thousands of views, and she's on there, and she's got this way about her that's so funny and engaging, but she also gives you this sage advice, and so it worked for her. There's certain platforms that I will say, nah, I don't think that's going to be for you.
Yeah.
And it's why? Because I've been on it. And I'll
Mm-hmm.
say, oh, you need to be in LinkedIn, or you need to be in a LinkedIn group. And I will tell them this is why. So I have to try all the different things. What the problem is a lot of my clients think they have to be everywhere I am. And I'm like,
Oh,
that's going to wear you out. I said, because you're not teaching social media marketing
right.
tactics. I said, just go where your people are. I said, but I have to be on these things to really try them out.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's really how I decide what to be on and what to get on, and that sort of thing. I mean, Snapchat is cool. I said I like Snapchat. Obviously, none of my friends in their 60s are on Snapchat.
I'm not
Okay,
on
they was like, the
Snapchat.
snap the what? So, but I
Huh?
said I like Snapchat because they have great filters. They have great
Oh, yeah,
filters.
they do.
Oh my
That
god. So I
is
said,
true.
take the filter and then put it somewhere else. Put that filter of the video and put that on Instagram, or if you like
Mm-hmm.
Instagram, or take the filter that you're gonna do and take a picture and put that on Facebook or whatever. I said, so you gotta know what the best parts of each thing is. We kind of
Mm-hmm.
talked about that before we got started, and then use that.
Yeah.
I use something that's really old school. I mean, Canva is obviously the thing that's a game changer for a lot of people, but I use PicMonkey and I
Oh,
use
I love them.
Animato. Yeah,
What's that second one?
Animato.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, you do.
Remember?
You know what? I saw you use that one and I was like, maybe I should go pick that back up again. And I did,
Oh,
but
I
then I was
love
like,
it.
I'm not using it because I have
Oh,
500 other video
yeah. I
programs.
mean, if you have other ones, I mean, Canva, people love Canva, but I was always, so whatever you're used to and things you could do quick. For me, if I
Yeah.
can't do it in 5 or 10 minutes or so, then I'm really not going to do it because I don't want to spend a whole lot of time creating
Yeah.
something.
Yep.
So I want to do something really quick. So I could do an Animato reel really quick in about 5 minutes. My husband said, okay, let's go to dinner. I said, well, let me do this reel real quick. And it's like, boom. Now, if I would say, let me do this reel real quick and it's an hour later, I would be divorced, right? He would be like, no, you are not doing this. So yeah, so you want to try to use all the best parts of the things that are really good for your brand, but then don't
Mm-hmm.
don't take a lot of time. Now, if like for instance, I don't design my own websites. You have to hire people to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But there's some things you could do to update. So sometimes if the learning curve is so long and so hard, then you hire someone to do that.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's something that you could do in 5 or 10 minutes, then it's fine. You could do that. But you have to decide how do you want to spend your time. Like we are just telling you, the book I was reading about scale or fail, right? So you want to be able to scale. You can't scale if you're doing all the things and wearing all the hats.
Right. Right. It's been such an interesting message that I keep getting over and over. So when you brought that book up, I was like, wow, that's probably another message. Can you tell them what you look? Don't be like
Don't be
me,
like,
folks. I love spending hours designing. I know, but JP, you do that for a living. You're right.
he's
It's
a
true.
creative though. He's a content creator.
He
So
is.
I have to tell people, and these are people who are speakers and authors, are primarily my clients.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you're a speaker and an author, not a content creator. So a content creator makes their money from the content
Mm-hmm.
that they're creating for themselves and other people. I said, but you're not that. So you don't have to spend as much time on it. And they're like, well, look at their stuff. I said, but they're a content creator. They went to school for photography or videography, or they went to Full Sail University and they know this stuff. You're a speaker and a subject matter expert in a medicine or law, so
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to have video. I mean, hire someone like him, JP, to do his stuff. But people think that because they see it online that they should be able to do that, but they don't know the skill set of someone who who is doing it.
Mm-hmm. John said he's a bit of a control freak. That's why he does a lot more. I will admit that that is my issue at times too, that I do tend to do a lot of my own content creation. But first of all, I kind of see myself in that field now. I didn't start
Mhm.
out as a content creator, but I love
Creating,
creating live stream video. I love creating, period. Like, I love creating.
and I love your
Now,
background. That's part of the thing, your content creation, that you see that, and you can help other people with that as well. So
yeah.
that's a little bit different than people who are on Instagram. It's like, oh, my stuff doesn't look like, I don't know, whoever it is. I was like,
Yeah.
but that's what they do for a living. That's all they do. They are on Instagram. They're an influencer. So your stuff can't look like someone who's an influencer,
Yeah.
because that's how they get paid, and you're getting paid another way.
Mm-hmm. To speak, like you said, or to write
Hmm.
books and to sell
Hmm.
your books.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I love that you are really embracing. There's a couple of things that I think I'm hearing from what you shared so far. One is that you, because of who you are and what you love, you are excited about trying new things and testing out new things so that you can share that with other people.
Hmm.
Everybody doesn't have to do the same thing because that's not everybody's role or passion to serve other people in that way. Some
Hmm.
people have a passion for being an author and speaking about, relationship advice. So they should not necessarily be on every platform
No.
because that's not really part of their role. Their role is to speak on relationship advice in a platform that fits them and that
Yeah.
attracts the attention of their audience. I hope
Yes.
people are kind of picking up on that too from what Dr. Pam is saying because I do feel like there's this culture now where everybody feels like they have to do everything and be
Mm.
everything.
No, no, you can't. Someone who is a relationship, I had a client that has a PhD in relationships, and, you know, whatever it was, PhD doctor, Dr. Marjorie.
Mm-hmm.
And her main thing, 'cause she loved researching, I said her main thing is blogging. It's going to be blogging, and from time to time video. And basically she could take her blogs and make them the video content.
Yeah.
That's it. I don't need her on Snapchat. I don't need her on Clubhouse. It's
Mm-hmm.
just, she's a PhD. She really, I mean, it's a different kind of person that she's looking to be her customer, to be her clients.
Yes.
So they want to be able to go to her website, see how robust her blogs are, and maybe from YouTube, because that is the second largest search engine. So everybody should be on YouTube, but go on YouTube and do a video about the blog. So
Mm-hmm.
drive people back to the blog. Those are the only two. I said, you already got enough that you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I do tell people a lot that you don't have to do that, or you do need to start doing some things. There's some people that I think should that are sleeping on LinkedIn. We talked about that before. That people are sleeping on LinkedIn because
Yep.
they're so enamored with how pretty Instagram looks. And I said, but LinkedIn is where the people are who are doing business are. So you need to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And people are like, oh, but I love Instagram. I love Facebook. Oh, don't get me talking about Facebook.
I won't
Yeah.
I won't get you talking about Facebook, but I know you could talk about Facebook. I
Oh
know
my
this. I
Oh my
know
God.
this.
Yeah, Facebook is the F is for foolishness sometimes on that Facebook, man. It's just like too much. People say, well, I sent you a message on Facebook. I said, I never check my messages on Facebook. It's so much craziness on Facebook. I said, no. I said, LinkedIn is getting a little spammy, but for the most part, I know it's really about business because I'm a business person. I I mean, I could get on Facebook and connect with friends and that sort of thing, but I have friends in real life, so if they want to contact me, they can call me.
Good point. I mean, it's a
Yeah.
good point. And
Mhm.
it goes back to what you were saying earlier, which is that it's easy to get caught up in thinking you have to be everywhere, but you really need to just identify where it is you
Yeah.
should be.
Mhm.
And it's
Mhm. It will.
probably a much more narrow space than being everywhere all
Whew.
at once.
It will wear you out. And you hear people talk about stress and burnout, and they've got to have time to meditate and this. I said, well, just get off of some of this social media. You don't need to do all that stuff. It's like just get off some of this social media.
Yeah.
I have never seen in this is just, I mean, while I was working, during my 20s and 30s, and like I said, started my business in my 40s, there's so many people in their 20s and 30s are talking about burnout. I'm like, why are you all so burnt out? But I realize that they can't be disconnected
Right.
from anything. And
Yeah.
that anything that you're always on about will drive you crazy over time.
Mm-hmm.
So I tell people, pull back from some of this. It really
Yeah.
is good for your mental health. It really is. It you've got to know when to really isolate yourself from certain things and just really focus on the main things that are moving you forward with your goals, with your what's intentional for you.
Mm-hmm.
And don't have FOMO, fear of missing out. Fear of missing out on what? It's like you before social media, life was going on. So now all of a sudden now we got this FOMO. I said before we didn't know what we were missing out on and life
Right.
was good. Okay. So let some of these things go. It is so funny, and I love comedians. I love comedy channels, but I love the comedy when they talk about new technology and the way people are interacting now. Any of those comics that talk about that, like there was one comic that talked about, I can't remember who it was, but she said, "I have no more passwords." It's
I
like
can't think of
I
a
have no
single
more.
one.
I have no more. I say, "You are always asking me for new passwords. I have no more." It's like,
That's
I
funny.
understand. It was like, "I have no more passwords. I'm sorry." Yeah, those are
I
those are the
love it.
ones because it's a new type of comedy that we have to laugh at because it's crazy. First thing people do in the morning is picking up their phone, checking out their feed. I'm like,
Yep.
"What?" Yeah, it's a
So
whole
how do
we
you
gotta
pull
laugh at
away
it.
since you're on all these different social spaces yourself? How do you decide when you're going to pull away? Like, what's your secret?
So again, intention. Like one of the main things is intention. So what is it before you post anything? What is the intention? What do you really want it to say or to do? So if you're just scrolling through for entertainment, then what's the word I want to say? You get too much time on your hands because it's like
You don't have
I
enough to
don't
do.
have that. I don't have that kind of time. But if I am going to post something, I want to know what that it is bringing some kind of value, and if I
Yes.
am on a platform like a Clubhouse or a LinkedIn or something, then I'm
Mm-hmm.
having real interactions with people, and
Yeah.
that's the main thing. It doesn't. I'm never there lurking and just watching and all that kind of stuff. I'm always just really like making, real interaction with the comments, just the way you are, because it's real people behind each one of those profiles. So that's
Yes.
how I look at it, and so I was watching the Netflix special with Oprah and Michelle, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so one of the things that she said, she had Sasha on social media, and Sasha came in one day. I don't know, she's about 12 or something like that. She says, "I have 1,000 friends," and Michelle looked at her. She says, "Listen, nobody has 1,000 friends." She just said about on Facebook. She said, "I have," but the way they grow up is thinking that these people are
Our
friends.
friends. That's
I'm
right.
like, there's no way you can interact with 1,000 people.
Mm-mm.
You have to pick the niche of the people that you want to interact with. So that's my thing. You want to just pick your tribe or your niche and talk to the people that resonate with you and you resonate with them. And that's I a lot of my friends. You're
Mm-hmm.
one of my friends from social media. It's been consistency.
Yep.
And I can say that maybe over the years there's been maybe someone that I met online and then I met in person, and I thought like, "Ooh, they're not like what I thought." But for the most part, if you're interacting with someone online, they are the same when you meet them in person. They really are.
Yeah.
I'm the same. People say, "Oh, you're just like you are online." I'm thinking like, why wouldn't I be?
Because
But
some
then, but
people are not.
but then there are some people that are. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true. And I'm just it would take too much energy to try to create a whole nother persona.
I agree.
Way too much.
I
Hmm.
agree. I
Hmm.
agree. I know people try it all the time. I just want to pop up a couple of reminder comments from people so that others who are watching embrace your strength, recognize your weaknesses, and surround yourself with people smarter than you. Yeah,
Ooh,
I
that is
love that.
real true. And the people smarter than you can always not be older, but they can be younger.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're around. I'm a baby boomer, so I'm around Gen Xers, I'm around millennials, and even the ones below the millennials. Was it Gen Y? Some of
Yeah.
those.
I
Yeah,
can't
Gen
keep
Y.
up anymore because
Oh
there's so
my God.
many.
And then someone said there's a Gen A. I said, really? We're going back at the beginning of the alphabet now? I'm like, okay,
I
this is crazy. Yeah.
can't keep up with all of that. I think I'm definitely learning from some of the more youthful generation when it comes to embracing certain things. Jada West on TikTok, she's a TikTok influencer and has
Mm.
just, she's got a really soulful spirit, but she's really, she's still, youthful. She
Okay.
is young, but she's very intelligent. And the way that she shares her stories about social media and about clothes, I'm like, wow, that's so mature. How you're
Mm.
talking to other people and sharing with them how to choose outfits and also kind of molding that into loving themselves and the way that they look. And
Mm.
and
Mhm.
I think that a lot of, especially our younger generation, I can see this with my two daughters, for instance, they need that affirmation. They need to know you're okay in spite of what you might see on social media, in spite of what you might see in some of the visuals, the media, the TV, the movies, whatever. I
Yes,
think
it
that
is.
they have to have that reminder right now.
I think this generation has to be a little bit more tougher in terms of feeding their own self esteem. That's why self care is so big now. Because I was like, I never understood what are you talking about self care? But because of the social media, everything is so externally focused that they
Mm-hmm.
do have to have that internal like time with themselves. And I
Yeah.
never really realized it for that generation. What is the generation above me, right? I think they call it the silent generation. So my in-laws are 93 and 92. They just got a Fire Stick. They have an Alexa.
Ah,
They have a cell phone. Oh my God. Yes. When you think about it, it's like they have these things, right? So they're talking to the TV and they say, oh, they're talking to Alexa to do this. I'm thinking like at 92 and 93, you would have thought that they would say, oh, I'm not going to do that, but they are. So
yes.
it's you have to keep up with things like that. But they did. They got a fire stick. They're watching Netflix. All the things, all the things. It's
I
it,
love it.
it's
Strick says, great
it's
conversation. DJ Strick in the house. What's up? Good
hey
to see
hey
you,
DJ
sir.
Strick.
Look, these are the folks that are in this community, the people that are watching right now, like these are my people. JP,
Ah,
John Lacey, Yvette Lee, Michelle, Chocolate Quilts, all of these folks, they are all about purposeful, intentional social media and just creating a space that feels right. So I love that
mm-hmm.
we're talking about a topic that I think is probably resonating with a lot of you, and I appreciate you sharing that. It's a good conversation. If you have questions for Dr. Pam Perry, I want you to definitely leave those questions and definitely leave her some love in the comments too. Because I always love getting to have her in my space. When you came to Dallas, I was so disappointed that I did not get to come and see you and just give you a big
No,
old hug.
I'm gonna be back. I love Dallas, so that is like one of my places. So eventually, remember I told you I said I love Dallas. I feel drawn to it. There's certain cities that you feel a vibe with, and Dallas is one of them. I went to Vegas. I don't feel a vibe for Vegas. A lot of my friends, are moving to Vegas, and it's like, I just didn't feel it. I guess I don't like mountains. The same thing. I don't like Arizona. I don't like that kind of thing. But
Hmm.
Dallas, I kind of felt, that whole Frisco area, McKinney, that I felt that. So yeah.
Hmm.
So I hate that we didn't meet either, but we're gonna meet soon for sure.
We are. And when
Especially
you come,
with the last few years where we couldn't go anywhere and the world shut down. It's like I
oh,
am not wasting time. I'm gonna make sure I get on that airplane. Yes, won't take
I
those
know.
things for granted anymore. Hmm.
That's true. I was just talking about that to somebody that I need to travel a little bit more. So far I have one trip that I have planned in October, but I want to do something probably before that, maybe in the summer. My husband's
Mhm.
still overseas, Pam, so
Oh,
he's wanting us to come to the Philippines and kind of hang out there for a bit.
ooh,
We haven't
I
decided
wanna
what we're
go
going to
there.
do because the summer is busy. When you have kids,
And it's really hot in the Philippines in the summer.
oh, it's super hot. Yeah, we were
Yeah,
there
I
a
know.
couple years ago and burning
It's
up. But
yeah,
the
it is. It's
culture and
very
the people, I mean,
oh,
he's
I
been
love
there
it.
for a long time, so we got introduced like old school to
Yeah.
the city.
I would love to go there. I had a friend that did a documentary there, so I would love to go there. But the summer is super, super hot.
It's super
It's
hot. You
Yeah.
just melt. I just
Hmm.
told my stylist, I was like, just cut the hair off because
And
I'm
the
not going to want to
SPF,
do anything.
you gotta have it like at least 80. You know,
Right.
it's yeah, you've got to have sunscreen protection at least 100 or something. I don't know, but yeah. But I do tell people, a lot of my clients, with the Speakers Magazine, because they have the different issues and things like that. One of the ways to stand out is to do something different. When everybody's going left, then you go right. And so, even though traditional media is kind of combined with um, social media now, you still want to have your story told through another lens. You can't, it's paid content, which is
Mm-hmm.
advertising and Facebook ads and all that. There's earned, which you pitch yourself to the media, and maybe ABC, NBC picks you up, or PBS or Oprah or whatever. There's owned. Obviously, we're owning our own media because you have your own pod. And then there's shared, which is social media, which people, say, oh, it's free or whatever. So you're just sharing. So
Mm-hmm.
paid people can do. Earned is a little bit harder. Owned and what's it? Paid, earned, shared, and owned. So you want to make sure you're doing all of them in order to get attention in the market today. And so earned media is like where you have like someone telling your story, whether it's CEO Weekly or if it's a EUR Web, which is, Madame Noir, The Grill, The Root. You want to have someone else telling your story. It could be online papers. It could be the Washington Informer or the Afro. It could be the Michigan Chronicle. But you want someone to hear your story, write their story, and put it on their site, because it's one thing for you to always talk about how great you are, but then you want other people to write about you and say that the things that you say that you do, that you actually do it. So you're vetted by a reporter or vetted by a writer. So those are the things that then you take those and then you share it out. So
Mm-hmm.
you'll see a lot of people would say, oh, I was just featured in Blavity, or I was just featured in CO Weekly, and they put those on social media, and it gives it an additional validation
Mm-hmm.
instead of saying, oh, I've just done this. So I always tell people, I said, you get the media and then you put it in social media. Definitely put it in your media kit, but you definitely want to have clips of other stories about you. And it's changed. My website now, Tanya, I don't know if you've seen it, where it's quick media coverage, and I'm guaranteeing PR because we have a network of about
Oops.
50. Oh,
There we
of
go.
about
There
50,
you.
yeah, guarantee PR. I was like, but we have, about 50 different outlets that we've partnered with where we can guarantee coverage. And so the coverage is, gives them good SEO. People Google you, they'll find the story written by someone else, and those are just some of the things where it's change. Again, change, PR is change, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I just knew to change with it because there's so many times that people will pay for publicists, traditional PR firm, and they don't guarantee anything.
Yeah.
And all they want is just to be seen. They just want the exposure. They want their story told. So I had to, and I did this all, I told you last year. All last year I was just trying to figure it out. Like, what are we going to do? What are we going to do differently? And this
Mm-hmm.
was the thing. It started with the magazine because the magazine basically was the start of it, because I own this. And so I can guarantee that you're in this one. But now I have other outlets that I'm partnering with it. People can actually have their stories told in there. So that was like the start of it.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, and then we still do traditional outreach as well, but you have to start somewhere. Like, you can't be like, not have no media anywhere and then all of a sudden want to get on CNN. Okay, so it's like, you got to have some digital footprint first. You've got to have some stories. It's part of the things of putting in your media kit, and people are realizing that it snowballs. Media begets media. You'll start small, it grows, it gets bigger and bigger and bigger. So I've had clients that have started small, where they've been on a small little podcast, to now where they're on PBS, and it didn't happen overnight. Or now they're in Essence, and they started, in this magazine. But it's because I can take this magazine, mail it to somebody at Essence, and they can take a look at it, or I can mail it to someone at Black Enterprise. So it's like you're giving them some ammunition, I guess you would say, or some some tools,
Mm-hmm.
some assets, some hardcore assets
Yep.
that says, okay, this is my media presence. This is a story of being told. And obviously you do need to have a good website. You do need to have a good YouTube channel. I love your YouTube channel too, by the way.
Thank
It's really, really good. I love it. I told people, I said, get your YouTube channel together, get the playlist together. They were like, what's a playlist? I'm like,
you.
it's like,
I
just look
know.
at it.
Look, I
That's
had to
exactly.
hire JP to kind of get me some new and updated current brand photos because I try to keep those updated every year. So the
Mm,
ones that are on my site now are on my YouTube are actually his work, which is great. I was
love
on
that,
your
JP.
speakers magazine, wasn't I? I was on there
Yes.
once.
If you go to the site, you can actually type your name in there. You're in there a couple of times. Yeah. You have a search bar. That's the other thing. I tell people, I said, please have a search bar on your website, especially if your website is really old. I mean, because you don't want people digging through, trying to figure out where it is. So have
Right.
a search bar on your website, put in a name, and it'll pop up. It's like, oh my God. I went to someone's website and I know their website was 12 years old at least, and it was no search bar. I was going crazy. I said, how am I going to know? Like, no search bars? Like, what?
Yeah.
Who
I
needs a
can't find
website?
what I need to find when I go to your site, right?
Yeah. There should be a sitemap too. That's the other thing you need to have on there on the website. But anyway,
Should
we're not going
people
to talk about.
have media kit? Should everybody have a media kit?
Yes,
And
yes,
what
you
should
should.
be in it? What's the basics for somebody who's starting out, Pam? What
So
would you say?
the basics, JP, the same thing. Headshots, high resolution, right? 3 versions of the bio, a micro, a mini, and a traditional one, about 500 words. So you want to have 3 different versions because you don't want the media to chop up your bio, and it's like, man, they didn't mention that, or they didn't need to say that. Well, you got to give them options. You got a
Yeah.
micro, you got a short one, and then you got a full one. You want to have in there, if you have endorsements of any time, client testimonials, obviously, because that's kind of like the main thing too. It's like what someone has said about you, that's good. And then any links to any podcast, any links to any video, any links to any newspaper articles, any links to magazine articles, because that's the whole point of the media kit, right? They
Yeah.
want to know what other media you've had. They don't want to sit around and try to Google you and figure like, well, where have they been? Just put it all in the kit.
Yeah.
And that's really like the main thing, because when the media comes to you, they're putting together a story or they're putting together a segment, and they're like, okay, I need to know what's been said about them. I need to
Mm-hmm.
grab their bio and their photos, and I need to go. If you're a speaker, you need a sizzle reel, so that's usually about 2 minutes or so, 2 minutes 30 seconds, and basically it's a compilation of all of your speaking engagements and some media, if you had some television media. So that's really that. And if you also are a speaker, you need an intro video. So a lot of times, if you're going to do a keynote and before you come on stage, they'll play a video. If you're a professional speaker, they'll play a video. So you want to have that intro video, and that's usually about a minute or so. And it's like it builds the audience up. It's like, hey, yeah, blah, 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 and it shows this, and then you're on. Yeah.
It's a
So you
hype
want to have
video.
Yes, a hype video. And a sizzle reel basically is what will book you, and then the intro is what hypes you up when you come on. Someone did
Love
a
it.
hype video for me, and it's hilarious. It's called Relentless Aaron did it, and he did it so many years ago. And he said, "I want to do something for you." I said, "Okay, Relentless, go on." And he did it, and he was like, "I want to be like Pam Perry." That's the whole video, and he does it with the song. I want to be like Pam Perry. I'm like, oh my God. I said, where am I going to use this? I was like, my daughter don't even want to be like Pam Perry. Okay. It's like, where am I going to use this? He was like, oh, I think it's good. I was like, okay, thank you. Thank you. So sometimes I just watched it the other day and I fell out. And my husband, he said, yeah, he said he was like really, really pumping you up. I said, yep, it was. He said he had one line, says, I don't want to be Pam Perry. I want to be like Pam Perry. I was like,
Oh.
oh my God.
Oh wow.
I said, no, you cannot be Pam Perry, Aaron, but you can be like me, I guess. Oh my God.
I
Yeah.
love it. And you know what I did? This may be a tip for somebody who's kind of trying to figure all that out. What I've started doing is I actually have a playlist on my YouTube channel. And I'm not even sure that it's public. It may be unlisted, but
Oh,
the reason for it is solely because when I get interviewed on other people's shows, I add a link to that video into the playlist. So then I have this playlist that plays on my media kit page
Mhm,
from
mhm.
YouTube that is all these different shows where I'm the
Yeah.
guest in the hot seat. So
Oh,
that was
yeah,
an
that was
easy
good.
way to put together clips of speaking. Yep.
Yes, yes.
Look,
I
John
that
said, be the most Pam Perry version of yourself you could be. I know, right?
I love that. Be the most vampiric version of yourself you can be. Thank you, John. Oh my God. That is crazy. Right. Everybody should be the best version of themselves. And the only competition we have is with ourselves of who we are the day before. Right.
Yes.
John. Yes. Yes.
Yep.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that playlist
Good.
is public. And
Okay.
that's one of the things whenever you have an interview with someone, go to their channel and add it to, I don't know, just interviews with whoever it is,
Yep.
interview. So mine says interviews of Pam Perry over the years,
Mm-hmm.
whatever. And then you just add it in there because you can't take their video and put it on your
Right.
channel, but you
Yep.
can add a playlist to that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that, I if there's one social media that I really want people to make sure that they really learn and pay attention to is YouTube. Like I said, it's the second largest search engine owned by Google. And a lot of times people will go to Google to look for information on you, but most of the producers and editors are going to YouTube to look for things. So make sure that it's your channel isn't raggedy. Make sure that it's laid out correctly and that it has that about section on YouTube that is filled out, that you put an email in there, that you put your Amazon link, that you put your podcast links, that you put all the links in there that they allow you to put in, because that is really what makes your channel be found too more.
And
So
make
yeah,
sure that
YouTube
your
is
links are active. Like, don't put old links, because that's one of the things when I talk to my different clients, that we do an audit of their YouTube
Ooh,
space. So,
I
and then
remember I use
mhm,
audit with my clients and they get so scared. It was like, oh my God,
girl,
what's going to happen? I
I'm
was like,
like,
it's just like a
let's take a
review. It's
look.
not like I'm not going to send you to jail.
No,
I'm
I'm
just
trying
going
to
to audit
help you.
you. Right.
I'm,
It's like I used to say audit and they would get really scared and not come to the appointment.
oh no,
And I was like, it's not that deep. I mean, I am a
no.
straight shooter and I am very tell you the truth, but I'm not
Yeah,
like going to hurt you or
trust. You want
anything.
this help. You want the
Yes.
help from Dr. Pam. You want my help too, because we're going to give you that honest feedback about, wait a minute, so there's like 3 links that are on here that aren't working. They're not leading to anywhere, or they're leading
Hmm.
to an old brand that has nothing to do with what you talk about today. So
That's
those
true.
are the type of things. If you do your own self review all the time, I mean, I kind of liken it to doing spring cleaning, but at least once a quarter, I try to go to all my different websites and online areas and see, did I need to
That's
update
good.
links in there and
That's
what,
good.
just to make sure that it's current information. So when people are searching for you, like you said, Pam, they're not finding outdated information.
Yeah. And it people want to do business that they trust. And when there's broken links or information that's not
Yeah,
congruent, they don't trust you. So you want to make sure everything is really in sync.
that's
Yeah,
right.
in alignment. That is for sure. That is for sure.
I'm
Yeah.
popping your website back up again because I want the people to know where to find you.
Okay.
So they're going to
Pam Perry
find you.
PR. Pam Perry.
PamPerryPR.com.
Yes. Yes. It's been there for been doing PR for a while, like I said, but things have changed and I try to stay on the cutting edge. I don't know what's going to be in the next 5 years or so. I will say that it probably has something to do with AI, but we'll see. A lot of videos are being more AI generated now.
Yeah.
So one day you and I may not even really be talking, and we just have AI robots sitting up here or something.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I dread that day. I always want to be my own. Yeah, I've been
I
struggling a
know.
little bit with that. I have, but anyway, that's a whole different conversation. That's a whole nother hour right there.
I
Look,
know. I
Gary
know.
Jones Jr. said that feedback is critical. What we were just talking about, we need to stay updated.
David. Yes, it is so
Yeah,
true. It
we
is
need
so
to
true.
stay
It's
updated.
nothing worse for uh, a producer to be looking up for some information on you, and they want to book you, and then you're giving them ammunition not to because your things aren't updated. So you want to make sure, and that's why I don't like things like click funnels or lead pages sometimes, because people will create them and then forget to update them, or they close an account and then that
Yeah.
link is out there somewhere, and I'm like, oh my goodness. So that's why I always just say, take an audit, make
Yeah.
sure that things are on the right track. Yeah, yeah.
So, what is this program so that people know about this? Let me pull your website up one more time. So, quick media coverage. Can you just share a little blurb
Yeah,
about
it's
what it
not really,
does?
yeah, it's really PR packages that people can pick. If you go to that quick media coverage up at the top, and these are, people will say, I want to get some PR. I want to get it. I want to get done. These are publicity packages, and they have four they can pick from: the bronze, the silver, and the gold, the platinum, and the platinum plus. And obviously each one down you get more and more services. But this is really like the only thing that I'm offering in terms of PR, and it gives them guaranteed PR. And so it does the point where you can be featured in those publications and working with me over a period of maybe 3 months, 6 months, or whatever, but you can get into these publications. So that's really it. It's like I had to figure out a way where people can start and then where they are going. That's
Yeah.
where it's, so now they can kind of see that. And it's something that is simple. Some simple on their end. If they have their assets and things together, like their
Yeah.
bios and the photos and things like that, then we can get them into different publications. But they do
That's
have
what
to
I
have
was going to ask. Don't they have to have some minimum? Like they need to have some things together. It can't just be
yeah.
like, hey, I started my business last week and
No,
now
they
I want to
need
be
they
on
need
NBC.
no, they need some assets and they need to build, and there's some
Okay.
digital footprints and things that they need to do. But at least I can guide them in a
Yeah.
structured way. Like, this is the starter pack. This is where you go next. And next. So yeah.
Yes. Good, good,
Yeah.
good. Okay. Sorry, I was getting an alert about weather again because we keep dealing with just crazy weather here. It's just up and down.
Oh
Nuts.
my God.
Yeah, it's all good though.
Oh,
So,
good, good.
look, it has been an amazing, I can't believe it's been over an hour. This went by so fast to
I
me
love it. This is my
because I
microphone I got I was telling you, I went to NAB, the National Association of Broadcasters, and I got this microphone.
look, everybody's been talking about NAB. Y'all see that?
It, it's plastic. It's a prop.
It's a prop. Oh, look, and Chocolate Quilt said, can't wait to grow and seek your services. The PR packages are
Oh, thank
incredible.
you, chocolate quilts.
Love
Yeah.
it. Love it.
I
So
had chocolate quilts. I had a network way back in the day called Chocolate Pages. Books so good you could eat them.
I
Remember that?
remember
That
that.
Chocolate Pages, and it was like, because I love chocolate, so it was Chocolate Pages. Books so good you could eat them, and it was on a platform called Ning. I don't know if you
Mm-hmm.
remember Ning. Yeah, it was on that. So yeah, I mean, I could still be on Ning, right? I had to outgrow it. It's like, okay, so then it became a Facebook group. NAB is all over social. Yes, it is. Oh, NAB had like 3,000 people. I was so tired trying to walk 3 million square feet of that conference. I
That's
was like, you know
crazy.
what? I cannot walk this whole thing. I said, let me sit myself down.
Look, John is laughing. The mic is only a prop. I know. What? It is a prop. Isn't that hilarious? That is hilarious. He remembers Ning.
Yes,
Yes.
Ning. And I want to
Ning.
say the lady that was a part of Ning was started Mighty Networks. You all know Mighty Networks? Yes, that
Oh.
was her. So she left Ning and she started Mighty Networks. Now I do have a Mighty Networks group over there, but I'm not real active in it. But Mighty Networks is really good. I
Yeah, it
mean, she
is.
did Ning for a while, but it's kind of like, okay, you did Ning and Mighty Networks. You ain't gonna have me over there, and then you leave again.
I know. They're doing a
The
lot in
trust,
Mighty
the
Networks.
credibility of that went down. Was like, she left Ning. I said she started something else. I was like, I ain't following you over there. Not taking all my stuff over there. I maybe a little bit. Yeah, that's the thing. And like Clubhouse, people said, well, is Clubhouse going to be around? I said, well, they're recording the things. Just make sure that you download your stuff. Ownership is very important in this
Yes.
world of owning your stuff. because things change. Even with Facebook, it can change. You want to own your stuff. Don't
Yes.
only have it in one spot. That is one thing that you will see someone have a meltdown because, oh my God, they closed it and all my stuff is gone. And
Mm-hmm.
like Google Plus, people were really into Google Plus.
Oh, they
Google,
were.
Google Plus sent you about 1,800 reminders that they are shutting down.
Yes, they
So
did.
if your stuff was on Google Plus and only Google Plus, you know, um,
Yeah. And it's
it's
like, I mean, how many of them have we seen come and go? A lot.
a lot. I
A
remember one of
lot.
the first ones, it was Posterous or something like that. Posterous, where you can post in one place and it would go everywhere. Or it was
Mm-hmm.
another one where you would post in one place and it would go everywhere. All those ones basically kind of left. I don't
Yeah.
know why, but
Yeah.
I thought they were cool because it saved work. But the the apps themselves want you to be native to them. They don't want you to just post and ghost. They want you in their platform. So they're not
Yeah.
going to give any Google juice to you posting when you use Hootsuite or any of these other things. You'll notice that you won't have as much engagement when you're using automated tools. They want you to be native.
And one of the things to kind of think about too is, and this goes to the video piece. I know a lot of people are getting into the whole idea of short form video, which is the in thing right now. But you need to diversify. You need
Mhm.
to have the length. So what we're doing right now is I'm creating this live stream has gone over an hour long. Why is that important that I have those plus I have those short clips? Because like you just said, YouTube wants people to stay in YouTube,
Yes,
right? Facebook wants
forever.
people to stay in Facebook. LinkedIn wants people to stay in LinkedIn. And so if you're only doing short video clips, you're only doing short form content, keep in mind that people quickly swipe to the next thing, and it may not be your thing, right? Because the goal is to keep them in there. So why not give them something that they can swipe through, but also give them something that they can really kind of like consume in your space on that platform for a longer amount of time?
Hmm. Hmm.
Because I think
That's
some
the whole
people are,
point.
yeah, they're starting to get like, well, I don't want to do a long video because the short form is in. Yeah, okay, but you need to diversify. You need to have both types of video.
Hmm. Just like with investments, you don't want to just invest only in one thing.
Yeah.
So you want to make sure that you're investing in all the things so that if any of the things go away or it's not as popular or the algorithms change, that you have something for everybody.
Yeah.
And algorithms will change.
They sure will. I mean, look, to your point, John. Yeah, people are building relationships. Like there's certain people who you might follow, for instance, on TikTok or on Instagram Reels that you follow over and over again because you love their short video clips, and it may lead them to be interested in getting more from you. But you have to have that more on the back end. What if you don't have anything more than that? You're not going deep.
Hmm.
So
There was a
that's why I
gentleman
say
I followed on Instagram. I think it's Monty. And Monty, I love he's a
Monty
comedian.
Weaver.
Is it Monty? I thought it was a last name with the L. Lambs,
Okay.
maybe. But
Okay.
Monty. And anyway, so I always watch his reels. He's always funny, hilarious guy. And he had a course and I bought it. I haven't. I just bought it because I felt like because his reels were so entertaining, I needed to pay him something, right? I was like, I haven't even looked at the course yet, but I did connect with him on LinkedIn. He says, "Oh, I'm not on LinkedIn at all." I said, "Thanks for connecting with me. Thanks for buying my course." And I was like, "Yeah." I said, "I'm not on. I'm not doing a whole lot of like reels like you're doing." I said, "But I am on LinkedIn." So anyway,
But
so Monty,
check
if you're
that out.
watching,
Look, what if he didn't have that to sell? If he was only doing the short clips, then you'd just be watching the short clips and it's like, what
yeah,
else you got? And you
I
wouldn't have
bought his
had anything
course.
to invest in. That's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
diversity is so important.
yeah,
Chocolate
yeah.
Quilts has a question for you. I'm not sure if so we're not going to act as attorneys. I'm going to say
No, I
that.
can't.
Yeah. She asked about do I need to trademark like crazy now?
Woo. So the whole thing about trademarks is that you want to protect yourself. So yes, I don't know if you want to trademark like crazy, if that's the word, but you do want to protect yourselves because we're in social media now and people are just snatching people's stuff left and right.
Mm-hmm.
I would say probably 10 years ago we probably wouldn't have to trademark as much as we do because stuff wasn't as public and people weren't sharing and comparing as much as they are now. Everybody's online, everybody's looking at what everybody's doing. So trademarks are more important. I would say those trademark attorneys are really making bank right now. They
Yes,
are
they
really
are.
are. And most attorneys anyway, but definitely trademark attorneys. So I would say, yeah, you do. Yeah, it's a way to protect yourself. Especially if you're doing things that if you're a speaker, one of the things I think I told you, Tanya, remember Les Brown lost his YouTube channel and he had like
Mm-mm.
over 1 million people on the YouTube channel and things like that. And people, so anyway, he had to start from over. But it
Oh.
was probably because he didn't protect himself in terms of certain things. So people were taking his videos and saying it was him and not
Mm.
trademarking things. So you don't want to, not to say that you're just starting out, oh, this is going to be really big, I'm going to go trademark this, but definitely you're going to realize that at a certain point in time you're going to need to trademark certain things
Yeah.
because people are going to take it.
Yep.
And hashtags, I had a friend that had a hashtag that he was always using from our high school. I think it was a daily cast tech moment, and he would always hashtag it. Now just in our class alone we had 4,000 people in our class, so that's just one class of 1 year.
Yes.
So finally he trademarked it. And so whenever people use daily cast tech moment, they know it's him. And he hasn't monetized it yet, but he did it as a trademark.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you could do a t-shirt or whatever, whatever. All the reunions of all the years. School is over 120 years old. So now he's got this little trademark. And so no one can start printing up t-shirts without him getting paid
Yep.
or whatever,
Yep.
or starting a documentary or whatever it is. So yeah.
Yeah.
So
I
you
mean,
want to,
it's real. People are definitely taking. We were talking about this before the show.
yes, yes.
They are taking
Oh my,
things. So y'all be careful out there in these internet
mhm.
streets
Yes,
and get
definitely.
proper advice. And like Dr. Pam said, you need to do a little research, right? You don't just come out the gate and say, "Oh, I think this is going to be great. Let me pay thousands of dollars," because it costs money, right? You have
Oh
to
yeah,
invest in
yeah.
getting the trademark done. So you need to do your research, talk to an attorney, talk to somebody who is actually clearly
Mhm.
they're legit and able to give you solid legal advice
Yes.
about whether or not your idea makes sense to trademark. And they can also do the research for you to find out if it's already in process.
Hmm. Oh yeah. Oh my God.
So
There's
that's,
someone that was on my Tony Moore. She's in the March issue of Speakers Magazine, and Tony Moore is a trademark attorney. I would recommend her. Business and trademark attorney. There's Tony there, and I did an
yeah.
interview with her as well. But she talks about intellectual property, and it's
Mm-hmm.
really important. I mean, after the interview I did with her, my head was about to explode. I was like, "Oh my God." I was like, I
I
need to
talked to her
trademark
too.
everything. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know what I'm talking about? I was like, my head was about to explode. So Tony, she knows her stuff. She worked in corporate for 20 years doing trademarks. So now she's
Yes.
doing it for like entrepreneurs. So yeah, Tony Moore is who you want to kind of look up on Speakers Magazine. It's the March 2023 issue. So yeah, it was,
Toni, y'all.
yeah.
Toni. She's super sharp. Super
Oh my
sharp.
God. Yeah, like I said, my head was about to explode after I finished with her. I was like, I don't have my stuff together. Yeah, yeah,
I
yes.
almost left in tears on the phone call, like, okay, I know what I need to do now.
I know. She was just trying to help you, just trying to help you. Oh Lord, but please, chocolate, please call her. Hmm. Get
Yep.
a consultation so you'll know
Yep.
she's a straight shooter. Yeah, yeah.
Love it. Love it. Well, look, I
But
don't want to keep
Tanya,
you
thank
all
you.
evening because you know I would. I would keep you here all night long, but I'm not going to do that to you because I know your hubby needs to have time with his Pam
And my little puppy, and my little puppy.
and your
He's like,
baby.
yes, yes. And he's like, Peppy's like, okay, can I go outside? Oh,
He's like, yeah, I'm out.
he's like,
Well,
okay,
look,
okay.
it's has been such a pleasure. I know, puppy. John said puppies. Everybody loves puppies.
Oh yeah,
This looks like
this puppy, he's about 12. Yeah, he's about 12. So it's his he looks like a puppy, but he's an OG too.
yeah. I got an
Yeah.
OGN that usually sits under here somewhere, but y'all don't want to see him right now because he is not looking. He's looking a little wrecked. He's got one eye left, and the other one is
Oh,
like, no, I ain't gonna do this today. I have to put his treat right in front of him so that he can see it.
right. Those are the
Ah,
treats. The
le-
treats that you have to give under the table. I know.
yeah, like
Hmm.
yeah, and he has like he's like, it's not right in front of me. Like he'll give me that one eye, like, okay, I need the treat. Put the treat up here. All right, y'all. So John said thanks, Dr. Pam. Gary
Thank
Jones
you.
said
Thank you,
thank
John.
you. Yvette C.
Oh,
Lee, Chocolate Quills. Everybody, thank you so much for showing up and for hanging out and showing some love to
thank
the Dr. Pam Perry. Thank you for coming. Look, I have to have you back again. So make sure that you say yes when I ask.
yes, I do. I do. We'll be talking about AI at that point.
Yeah, we need to talk about some AI. And there's Miss D in the house. What's up? D is
Hey,
also an
Dee.
author. You know D?
Yeah, she's been in the magazine before.
Yes, 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 yes.
She's been in there.
D is a
Hmm.
rock star. Collect the cash. Collect the
Yes,
cash.
yes, yes. She's
Love
been
it.
in there. Uh-huh. And we met at an event, Dr. Avis's event. Hmm.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Yeah. Awesome. All
Yep,
right,
yep.
y'all. Well, we're going to close this thing out. Thank you again, Dr. Pam. I'm going to put your website up one more time. So, for those who want to learn more, find out about quick media coverage, just go to pamperrypr.com. And what you see scrolling across the bottom is the best way to connect on her socials. So, if you're not following her on Instagram and all the
LinkedIn.
spaces, LinkedIn, Instagram, find her at Pam Perry. Okay. All righty. Let me go ahead and get us closed on out and say this. I appreciate you always coming each and every week. We are always live on Thursdays, and sometimes, actually, lately, we've been live on Tuesdays as well. But Thursday is our big day. This is when we have our most fun and spend a lot of time with you. Tuesdays, we're kind of doing a playhouse thing, meaning I'll ask or I'll answer anything. So if you got questions, make sure you pop those up into any of the communities where you may be watching right now. Send me your questions. I want to answer your questions and talk about just strategy and live streaming and content marketing and all the things. But I just either way want to see you back here. So make sure you like, follow, and subscribe wherever you're watching from. And we are going to see you next week in the stream. We do not have a special guest next week, so it probably will be me, but I'll be talking about our brand new program called Live Stream to Leads. It's going to be a boot camp. Initially, I thought I was going to do just an on demand course. But what I'm finding is that I love to have that interaction with you so that you can actually implement as we're learning together. So, Live Stream to Leads is coming up, and I'll be sharing more information starting tomorrow about that. All right, folks, have an amazing evening, and thanks again for watching. We will see you next time in the stream.